I'm here to tell you guys the truth about Devin Haney and his future at 140. I saw Devin Haney firsthand at the media workout, the weigh-in, and the press conference leading up to the fight with Ryan Garcia on April 20th of 2024. And I gotta tell you guys, there's some interesting stuff I noticed. And if you guys take a look at the picture I had posted, this is a photo of Devin during the media workout, meaning this was Wednesday, before the press conference, before the weigh-in. This is how he looked getting down to that weight cut. And I want to preface this by saying, I've seen Devin on, multiple occasions, and I had never seen him like that. I didn't see him during the Cambosis weigh-in. That was obviously in Australia. I wasn't there for that, but seeing him in this photo, I was saying to myself, I'm a little bit worried about, whether or not this weight cut is going to impact Devin Haney, because in my opinion, let's put everything aside. I personally think that the PEDs, it was a small amount. I'm not a scientist. I'm not here to say it impacted Ryan Garcia this much, that it impacted him not at all. I'm not here to say all that. But I will say that for Devin, I could see it, in all the fights I've covered, Devin looked like a weight-drained fighter, in my opinion. I've been to these fights. I've been to so many weigh-ins, but looking at Devin Haney during the press conference, the weigh-in, and even during the media workout in this picture, I could tell that he was looking a little bit drained, cheeks sucked in, and especially when it came to the press conference and the media, we were all asking him questions, I couldn't help but notice, Devin was drinking a lot of water. He looked very dehydrated. You could really see the bone structure. It was very, pronounced, not a level of fat on him. And a lot of you guys are gonna say, yeah, obviously he's making weight. Yeah, but when you're comfortable at that weight, it shouldn't be coming off, that in such a difficult way, in that difficult manner. And that's when I started to say, I have a little bit of a weird feeling that, something weird's gonna happen on fight night. And obviously the outcome was the outcome, but for me, I really do think that Devin Haney is in a position, and don't get me wrong, there's a very high possibility that Devin Haney did something wrong in that weight cut. Maybe he, underestimated the weight cut, thought it would be easier. I know that for a fact. He definitely thought it was gonna be easier than that. But to go even deeper, I don't know if he should be competing at 140, in my opinion. I've been watching a lot of Devin Haney interviews recently after, the Ryan Garcia fight, and he's talking about getting it back in blood, but he's also mentioned something very important that he's done with the belts. He's basically saying, I've done everything there is to do with belts. Now it's time for me to be a boss, and I'm gonna fight at whatever weight he wants to. And for me, just reading between the lines and doing a little bit of foreshadowing, you can't help but think that it's because he can't make the weight, that he's probably gonna move up to 47 and try to feel more comfortable there because he can't make the weight at 140 anymore. I'm pretty confident that, if anything, it's unlikely that we see Devin Haney at 140 again, because that weight cut really did play a major role in that, in his performance, in my opinion. And I'm not gonna say that Devin Haney wouldn't have gotten caught with that left hook regardless. I know that in my personal opinion, that I think that Devin Haney simply got timed by Ryan Garcia. He fought someone who was simply and quite plainly just, as big as him, bigger than him, younger than him, and maybe a little bit more talented. So the truth is that's the matter of the what went on with the weight for me. The weight was an issue for me, and a big reason why I disagree with a lot of people when it comes to talking about whether or not the 3 pounds impacted the fight. The 3 pounds was, it did have a difference. It did make a difference because Devin Haney had a tough weight cut. And obviously, it's the fighter and his camp's responsibility, his team's responsibility to make sure that they make weight on weigh-in day. And they were able to do that, but it's also the way in which you do it that is key. Just because you make weight doesn't mean that you're all good. It means you can fight, but it doesn't mean that you're all good, that you're healthy and ready to go. I don't think that Devin Haney was in the best physical shape, and I think that's a big reason why we're hearing him now say, I'm kind of over the belts. I've done everything there is to do with the belts. I had all the belts. Now it's time for me to be a boss and fight at whatever weight I want to fight at. That's what Devin Haney said. So that tells me he can't make 140 anymore. You know, that weight cut that he had with Ryan Garcia, and he didn't make any excuses, so I'll give Devin Haney a lot of credit for that. He didn't come out and say 140 is hard for me to make, but if you read between the lines, that's what he's saying. He can't make 140. I saw him. Look at the picture. He's drained. You know, he was drained on Wednesday. That's 3 days before fight night, and you know, when you're basically dead. On Friday, these fighters, people don't understand. They think that it's so easy to weigh in. It's not easy at all. It's the opposite. It's incredibly difficult and dangerous. That's what people don't understand. There's a science to weight cutting, and Devin has always been consistent with it, but it's starting, in my opinion, to impact his performance, and it's also impacting his mentality. And I'm not trying to say that Ryan Garcia, you know, take all the credit away, because I don't know. You know, the truth of the matter is that I don't know, we don't know how much that PED test really played a role in the fight. You know, there's also a chance that they fight again and then Ryan Garcia does the same thing and he's clean. That's a very in-play possibility, whether people like to hear it or not. Because naturally, when we watch a fight like that and we expect it to go one way and then we see it with our own eyes, Austrian or not, you know, we've seen it already. So our brains are tricking us into saying, you know, if you've seen it once, it could happen again. And that is true, but at the same time, PEDs are PEDs and you can't, you know, allow it at the same time. So you have to consider both sides. I really do think that it's time for Devin Haney to move up to 47, and I'm gonna retract on one of my statements that I made in prior videos that Devin Haney doesn't have the power to move up to 47, but I've been thinking about it, and I also understand that in boxing, rehydration and fighting at a more comfortable weight can make you feel replenished. You can feel rejuvenated, and he's gonna feel more comfortable. So maybe that actually, you know, enhances Devin Haney's power. That's a big possibility. So I'm excited to see Devin Haney back. You know, he said that he wants Ryan Garcia to get his get-back fight, that he's in no rush to get back in the ring, because obviously Ryan Garcia has to serve that 1-year suspension. And Devin said he's open to that being Devin's comeback fight. He's not in a rush. And I think a big reason is why, the big reason why Devin Haney isn't in a rush is because of this whole purse bid issue. Because Eddie Hearn, who, you know, did Devin a little bit dirty, but I also understand where Eddie's coming from, because Eddie was saying, you know, Sander Martin, who was supposed to, you know, he's Devin's mandatory and Devin was supposed to fight him, no one really wanted to pay for that. Actually, the only bidder was Top Rank, and Eddie with Matchroom didn't even bid on that fight. Why? Because they knew it wasn't going to make a lot of money. So Devin's in this difficult scenario where he doesn't know who's gonna, you know, put up his next fight and how much money he could get. Like I keep saying it, people don't understand the importance of the pay and the business aspect of boxing. A lot of people think they know the business. They don't know the business at all, because, you know, Devin is in a difficult spot where if you went with Top Rank for the purse bid, he's probably making $2 million max. And if that, there's a good chance Devin makes under $2 million in his next fight against Sander Martin if that fight were to go down. So you're telling me that Devin Haney is going from a $20, $30, $35 million payday with Ryan Garcia and then going down to a little bit under $2 million? That's a big pay cut for Devin. So that's why he's saying, I'm not in a rush to get in the ring. Of course Devin Haney's not in a rush to get in the ring, because if he went through with the Sander Martin fight, if he wanted to go through with the Sander Martin fight, then he's making over $1 million, and Devin's made so much money. You think he's gonna get out of bed and train for his mandatory and make only maybe $2 million max from a Ryan Garcia payday where he got close to 40? Like, you guys got to remember that this is a business at the end of the day. You know, as good as Devin is, as much of a champion as he is, it has to be worth it. Like Devin always says, it has to make sense. And fighting your mandatory, I understand that that's obviously a responsibility, but nowadays everyone ignores the mandatory. You know, Canelo is supposed to fight David. That's his mandatory, you know, or maybe not mandatory, but he's like the #1 contender and hasn't fought that fight. And how many years has it been? And he hasn't been stripped. You know, Devin is in a place where he doesn't get the same treatment. You know what I mean? So you got to give respect to Devin Haney for, you know, even though it is his mandatory, he's showing that, you know, it's business first. He's a businessman. He wants to make the money and then go from there. But yeah, you know, the point of this video was to tell you guys about the business and talk a little bit about how I think Devin Haney needs to go to 47. And I think we're going to see him there next. If not, maybe a catch weight around 44 or 43, but I don't think he's going to fight at 140, you know, again. And obviously, you guys can now see why. But let me know in the comments what you guys think. Thank you guys for watching today's video. Like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace. That's going to do it for another Nads Fight Media video, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. It's been your boy, Manabong, with another video. Hope you guys enjoyed it all. Thank you guys for the constant support. Salute to y'all always. It's been your boy.